He's come to this decision because he's listening again to his scientists. They're looking at the evidence, the data that's available. The ONS figures today saying there were 4,200 new cases. The incidence of infection is rising again, and the R number is still causing a problem. It should also be stressed, though, that when you look at all of these figures and you put it all into context, these rises are to be expected. If you have lockdown easing, then you will have people mixing and moving, and you will have the virus spreading and infecting other people, because this is a suppression of the virus. It hasn't been eliminated or exterminated from our societies and our communities altogether. It's still there, and what we're seeing is as soon as you lift lockdown, then it's going to start popping up and bubbling again, as the Prime Minister said in his own words yesterday. He's also looking at what's happening in Europe, and all of this together makes him shift the onus away from the economy back to public health, and that's why you have Professor Chris Whitty standing alongside him today.
I think what we're seeing from the data from ONS and other data is that we have probably reached near the limits or the limits of what we can do in terms of opening up society. So what that means, potentially, is if we wish to do more things in the future, we may have to do less of some other things. And these will be difficult trade-offs, some of which will be decisions of government and some of which are for all of us as citizens to do.
In black and white terms, if you want the schools to reopen in August, then we're going to have to make some concessions now. If we are moving towards lockdown easing across our communities, then we're going to see this virus coming up again, and if these small outbreaks become larger ones, then the pressure is back on. Also, this week, you must remember that the ONS figures, which came out yesterday, saying England had the worst excess deaths in the whole of Europe. All of this will point to criticism of the government's handling of this crisis. And Boris Johnson will be very well aware of the actions they've taken and the actions they've not taken, and also the criticism of the messaging, the mixed messaging, the muddled messages coming through. Where can people go? It's all been very confusing for people.
Hands, face, space, get a test, self-isolate if you have symptoms. Thanks very much. I think I repeated that often enough. Good.
So he clearly thinks that he's got to be on the front foot. He's got to get that message across. And what we can expect now is much more rapid action. At least there is some consistency in what we've seen with people returning from Spain and with the lockdown measures introduced last night and the further interventions we've seen this afternoon.